Hello, I'm Bill Gates, Chairman of Microsoft. In this video, you're going to see the future, Windows. Microsoft first came up with the Windows concept back in 1983. And today, the leading software users have switched into the Windows environment. It's really incredible how quickly our powerful applications like Word and Excel and PowerPoint have been adopted. It's not just Microsoft applications. Even companies like WordPerfect and Lotus have now come out with Windows applications. And every week we see new innovative work. It's really attracting all the innovation in the industry. We predicted this a long time ago, and now it's the future. Let's take a look.
Venture capitalists in the world are gathering today in Seattle for a first-of-its-kind climate summit. It is hosted by Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy, which has already funded close to 100 climate-related startups. Diana Olick was invited to cover it. Either that or she just broke in, and she joins us now with billionaire entrepreneur and I assume, Diana, you were invited.
Yes, we were, Brian. Absolutely. Thanks so much. And thanks, Bill Gates, for joining us. You started Breakthrough Energy 7 years ago in an effort to bring together private capital, public funding, philanthropy, all in the fight against climate change. And part of that is a $2.25 billion venture capital fund. Today, you're bringing in some of the big names. Larry Fink from BlackRock, Vinod Khosla, John Doerr of Kleiner Perkins, as well as members of the Biden administration. What are you hoping to accomplish here?
Well, with climate, we need to innovate to make the cost of doing it the green way far less than it is today. And the goal of climate is to get emissions all the way to zero. So it's not just cars, but it's planes, it's trains, it's cement, it's steel, it's agriculture buildings. So we have to have ways in each of those areas of making it inexpensive enough that not just the rich countries, but the entire world decides to get rid of the gigantic level of emissions we have today.
Now, when we met a year ago at the United Nations Climate Summit, COP26 in Glasgow, you said it was surprisingly easy to raise capital. Fast forward a year later, we have inflation, we have fast rising interest rates, we have the war in Ukraine, which is putting pressure on gas prices, not to mention a potential recession. How much harder is it now to raise that needed capital? Are you making any deals?
We'll raise additional billions for these funds. I think climate will be affected, but less so than many other areas. A lot of the private sector companies want to understand new climate technologies. They see that this is going to be a huge growing industry. And we have some success stories, some models of these innovative companies that have made really good progress. But yes, you'll have to have a stronger pitch. Some climate companies will get out-competed by other climate companies. But I don't think it'll be a winter where you can't raise capital at all. I think a lot of people individually and corporations are going to make sure we continue to get the billions we need.
But I don't have to tell you, the tech sector has hit pretty hard recently. We saw Microsoft today announce more layoffs. Tech has been such a great supporter in climate. How is bringing tech out of that? Do you feel that we're getting to a bottom, perhaps, and that will help investing sooner than later, or no?
Well, I think the tech companies all have pretty aggressive plans, and they'll be pioneering customers for the storage or cement or the steel solutions that these new companies come out with. So I don't see any backing off. They're taking a long-term view. They want to be very good citizens. So their engagement has been super helpful to the funding.
Now, in corporate America, of course, and globally, we talk so much about ESG now. The E part of that, the environmental part, there are funds. There are people claiming that they are going to offset their emissions by planting more trees, etc. How much is this companies talking the talk, or do you believe that they're all really walking the walk?
Well, the part that I believe in is where you accelerate the innovation. And so, to me, it's not so much who you don't invest in, it's who you do invest in. And there's a modest number of companies that are going to make it the cost of being green, the green premium, they're going to drive that down. And, so I give people strong points where they're making those investments and becoming customers of those green technologies. So yes, I think the E part, a lot of controversy, but I think there is a way to measure it, and that it should be one of the factors people look at when they invest in companies.
But we don't even have a clear carbon credit market globally yet. I mean, do we need more regulation, at least in the U.S., because it seems kind of like this wild west of climate math going on? Should we start to see that regulation?
Well, we're not going to have a carbon tax just politically in the U.S. It's just not likely to happen. We did get 3 bills that went through Congress. 2 were bipartisan. One was a reconciliation bill, all of which increase the funding for climate, in total about $500 billion extra dollars. So that is going to accelerate the movement and drive a lot of the new technologies to be in the United States. The whole measurement thing is a little immature. So, sometimes people are allowed to count, certain tree planting things that don't last long enough, so they, shouldn't be in there. I think the field is going to get mature on that. But I think having that environmental incentive, a lot of investors really do want to get that information.
We predicted this a long time ago, and now it's the future. We predicted this a long time ago, and now it's the future.